The BBC says Elon Musk's gesture at Trump rally draws scrutiny. The New York Times says Elon Musk ignites online speculation of the meaning of a hand gesture. The Anti-Defamation League released a statement saying, "It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm. Not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge." If you are a person on the internet, you probably know the apparent gesture in question. You either saw a picture or you saw a video. Maybe you saw the whole video where he did it twice. I am personally not going to show it because I consider it an extremely hateful gesture. But without getting banned from this platform, I am going to make this as clear as I possibly can. Elon Musk did a particular hand gesture that is associated with a particular group of people because he is a member of that group. I know that the writers for these news outlets are beholden to the same rules that I am while I sit here doing this kind of thing. I know that censorship is a serious risk, especially considering the fact that the world's richest man also has the world's most fragile ego, and there is a very real threat that he would buy a news outlet just to fire his critics and then force the remaining writers to only run headlines about how he's the big brain boy who's lay epic or whatever the fuck. Censorship is definitely a risk. It is something that we all have to be aware of in the age of communications and social media. However, if you are more concerned with losing your job than you are with a literal Nazi takeover, your priorities are fucked. That's message number one from this video. Pretending for a moment that this was just an awkward gesture, that this was just a little oopsie, it wasn't, but pretending for the sake of argument that that actually is the case, it has already been received by Nazi groups as a show of support. So Elon is either flaunting something that a lot of us have already known about him for a very long time, or he picked up a red canister labeled gasoline and dumped it on a fire because he thought it was water. So he is either a Nazi or he is so dangerously incapable of decision making that he should not be in any position of power that allows him to do that. But this argument that he just made a mistake, that it was just an awkward gesture, is such obvious gaslighting, you guys. Like, this is so incredibly embarrassing. You're telling me that we are supposed to accept that the richest, arguably most powerful man in the world is there because he's a genius. He's so much smarter than the rest of us. He is so absolutely brilliant. But at the same time, we're supposed to accept that he's just a little guy. He's just an awkward little guy who doesn't understand that a Nazi salute is a Nazi salute. But that brings me to the point. I promise there's a point to this video. It's not just me reiterating something that we already know. If you are seeing this, if you are seeing what is going on, if over the past 2, 3, 4, really 10 years of the news cycle has been kind of making you feel like you are losing touch with reality, either that or you are just blatantly being lied to by people who know they are lying, if you are horrified by this reality, I need you to know that that means you are awake. It means you are paying attention. And it sucks. It does. It's awful. This is a really shitty position to be in, and I'm sorry that you are here. There is actually a name for this phenomenon, and I know that knowing that it has a name doesn't really change what's happening, but it has been recognized by experts. It has been recognized by people who have been in the position that you are in for a very, very, very long time. It has a name. It is called hypernormalization. The term was originally coined by anthropology professor Alexei Yurchak in his 2006 book, Everything Was Forever Until It Was No More: The Last Soviet Generation. In his book, hypernormalization describes the process through which the people of the Soviet Union, faced with its collapse, decided to construct a false reality of denial rather than face the truth. Essentially, societal collapse became the new normal because no one could imagine an alternative to the structure that they were used to. Hypernormalization was later used as the name and subject of a documentary by Adam Curtis, and I'm just going to go ahead and quote Wikipedia here. It argues that following the global economic crises of the 1970s, governments, financiers, and technological utopians gave up on trying to shape the complex real world and instead established a simpler fake world for the benefit of multinational corporations that is kept stable by neoliberal governments. Sound familiar? This is not just starting, folks. This has been years and years in the making. What Elon did the other day was the final push through the door after creeping in one toe at a time over an extended period, while the woke left tried to warn everyone. Well, those of us over here who have been saying that this is where we are going tried to let everybody know, tried to call it out, tried to make sure that the liberal majority understood that this was happening, only to have said liberal majority respond with, well, are you sure? Are you sure that that's what you saw? Are you sure you didn't just take it out of context? Maybe you just took it out of context. Yeah, and maybe it was just an awkward gesture. This video is not intended to make you feel bad if you are the maybe you took it out of context person or have been in the past. Maybe what happened the other day, the event that I am talking about here, maybe that was the breaking point for you. Maybe that's how you got here. I don't want you to feel bad. I want to welcome you in. And I want to let you know that there are groups of people who have been aware of this and fighting it for decades, in some cases, centuries. I'm not about to pretend that these groups have been perfect, that the people who make them up have been perfect. Of course not. Humans are messy. Humans are imperfect beings. But I can affirm that what we want is a good thing. The end goal of a better society where everyone is welcome, where everyone is safe, is what we are working toward. And I can only speak for myself here, but I'm happy that you're on board. I am happy that you are here. Welcome to the team. Because, yeah, the situation sucks. But either the situation sucks and you don't know about it and it just happens to you, or the situation sucks and you do know about it and you team up with other people who want to do something. Those are your options. Pick this one. I am not a political expert. I'm no slouch, but I am not an expert in this stuff. At the end of the day, I am just a guy who cares about people and wants them to be safer and happier. And it is that position that I am speaking from when I say that you don't need to accept this contrived and disgusting idea of normal that our corporate and media overlords try to feed us so that they can push the lie that this is an acceptable reality. You can say no. This is not okay. You can say no. There might be repercussions. Sure. But what's the alternative? What is the alternative? We have to do something. We have to say no. We have to call this what it is. These are lies. This is manipulation. This is disgusting. We don't want Nazis leading the US government. We don't want Nazis at all. You can say that out loud. This is the rise of white supremacist fascism to the presidential office of the USA. That is what this is. And if you are scared and you are angry, good. It means you are paying attention. It means you are still in touch with reality and you are not accepting the propaganda that you are being spoon-fed. Because this is not normal and it should not feel normal. Part of why I try so hard to educate people about systemic oppression is because it is how the people in power test the waters to see what they are allowed to get away with. Minoritized groups are an easier target. If they are allowed to get away with racism, queerphobia, ableism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, if they are allowed to get away with these forms of violence, they know they're allowed to get away with other forms of violence, because the majority who had the power to stop them didn't do so. Again, a foot in the door, one toe at a time. They think they can get away with this because they've already been allowed to get away with so much more. Like I said, I am not an expert. I do not know with any great certainty what the solution is here exactly. But I do know that collective solutions require collective perspectives. So we are going to need to talk honestly about what is happening. I also know that whatever solutions we pursue are going to include 3 essential actions. Number 1 is listen to the most marginalized, because liberation is not trickle down. It's more like a tree and they are the roots. It's something that grows with all of its components working together. Number 2. Do not normalize hatred. Do not uplift anyone attempting to normalize hatred. If someone starts trying to pin responsibility for social ills on a specific group of disempowered people for their immutable traits, that person sucks and is pushing a power agenda. It's pretty simple. And 3, imagine something better. Is that idealistic? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean it's naive. Every advancement, every piece of technology, every bit of progress that we have achieved is because somebody imagined it before it was reality. We need to keep doing that. Stop letting people in power tell you what to think and who to blame. They are obviously going to point at everybody but themselves. They don't want a better future for you because they've already secured the best future for them. Stop letting them make you believe that there is no better alternative, because there has been in the past and there will be in the future. But we have to choose it. We have to work toward it intentionally. And folks, if it walks like a Nazi and squawks like a Nazi, it's a fucking Nazi. Anyway, on Friday or possibly Monday, depends on my workload, we are going to talk about men and vulnerability. We're going to go back to some masculinity discussions because part of reaching a better future means more active discussion about the steps that we take to get there. And everything is political. So more pointed political content like this. I'm taking a break. I need a break. It's such bullshit. I need a break. Let's talk about something a little more productive. Well, no, hopefully this was productive. Oh, you get what I mean. Hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you for watching. Bye.